in the house of slaves, you shall have no other gods before me. You should always be remembering this. It should be clear and open. It should be worthy to hear that beating in our heart and to have it forever and to spread that word to the whole world and bring redemption and be the tools through which God will bring the redemption to the whole world. So I see Yahrzeit from Divrei Yeheskal from Shineveh. I see from Divrei Yeheskal, the Shineveh Rav was the Am of the Emes. He was a pillar of truth. He didn't give up for anybody. He wasn't a respecter of persons. He did things 100% the right way. They say once he was by a tish, by the chart of a Rebbe, and the halacha is, if you light the candles of Shabbos, you should also put the chalas down on the same table if you want to move that table. If you don't want to move the table, or if it's on something you're not going to move, it's fine. If you want to move it, you have to put the chalas down before Shabbos starts. Or else it's a base, a bas to dover mukse. It's a base for something which you're not allowed to move on Shabbos. And so they lit the candles on the tish and on the table. They forgot to put the bread down, the chalas. And the chassidim want to move, and they said, "Oh, if you put a book down, you put the chalas later, whatever, it's okay." The Rebbe said, "Nothing doing." Alright, there are views like that. I'm not going to let that happen here. He put himself down on the table and wouldn't let them. It's from that merit that we have some of the tzaddikim we have today who come from his influence. Satmar Rav, when he was when he was a little boy, 9 years old, by his brother's wedding, the Shineveh Rav came to the wedding and he came to see him, and the Shineveh Rav was very impressed by his holiness. And his nephew, his brother, the Atzei Chaim, who was at that wedding, his nephew told the story, the last Rabbi Berch Moshe from Satmar and Sigurd, the previous Satmar Rabbi, he said when he was sitting Shiva for his father, the Atzei Chaim from Sigurd, he was his mother told him that Loreleno shouldn't have known from this, that it took a long time for them to have children. They had two sons, the Zalman Leib, who died in the war, and Moshe, Berch Moshe, the father of the present Satmar Rebbes, and they had a hard time having children. They were told to go to a particular resort area, and they have natural steam from the ground, hot springs, and that this has healing properties medically, and will help you to have children. And they go to, happened to be that the Divrei Yeheskal Shineveh Rav was also there at this particular place, and they went, let's go get a bracha from Shineveh Rav, the big tzaddik, son of the Divrei Chaya. So he took off his gartel, his prayer belt, and he gave it to the Rebbe and said, "Put this on." And then after that, they went home, and they had children after this. So everyone thought this because they went to the spring, and that the medicinal properties is what caused that they should have children. They didn't. People didn't know it was the bracha from the Shineveh Rav that they put on his gartel, and that's how she was blessed. And he lived a transcendent life like this. Miracles can happen. So we should be worthy that Hashem should bless us in the merit of the Holy Tzaddik, Yeheskal Shaga, Ben Chaim from Shineveh. This is Yahrzeit, this is Chus Yilin, Bas Lamed, Neshama Shat Naliyah. And Torah learning should also be Chus. And it's Chus for us also that we're learning, remembering this Tzaddik. He was a person who's in tremendous learning and always constantly learning. He had a Seder, particular Seder, 9 hours a day, 3 hours of Gemara, Bekiyas with Tosfos, Rashi Tosfos, and then a 3 hours of Halacha, 3 hours of Gemara Be'iyim, and much more. And he spent 2 years in the Holy Land. He started the Tzanzer Klois in Sfas, and they have a mikveh there. And these were all from the Divrei Yeheskal Shinaveh. And this was where he got the power. So the power comes from the Torah. It's that same fire that came down on Mount Sinai. I'm the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slaves. You shall have no other gods before me. So, we should, through keeping the halachas, we can attune ourselves and calibrate our souls, that we can hear that voice, the voice from Sinai.